Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter at Boink Studios and check out our Facebook page where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and you are listening to Tom Clark's Main Event. This is episode number 42 of the podcast, and if you're joining us today for the very first time, we will bid you welcome. If you're coming back for a repeat visit, we say, hey, thanks for tuning in once again. And to all of those involved, we'll extend to you, as always, the customary laurel and a hearty handshake. Thank you for your support. Thanks for listening. Thanks for reading. Thanks for following. And hey, thanks for always being there, Doc. As we said before, people, this is number 42 of the show. I'm Tom. I'm your host. Welcome aboard. Great to have you with us. I will say to you right up front, yes, I realize it's been a while since our last episode. Thanks for hanging in there. Thanks for bearing with me on this. But I have to say to you also right up front that I want to give you a great big thank you and a big wet sloppy kiss and hug, because we've got some great feedback from our sister podcast, our sister show, Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour. And if you've not yet subscribed to that show, please do so as soon as possible and check it out. We're only a handful of episodes into that show, but Kyle and I have had some fun doing it so far. Kyle and I have been friends for, well, much longer than you even really need to know about, because it shows my age, and that's something we don't like to do. I don't like to do it anyway, so. But no, man, it's been a really cool experience. It's fun reconnecting with a good friend and touching base with him and getting back to basics on, what made us comic book fans and wrestling fans and fans of movies and TV and music when we were kids on up to this point right now. And it's just been really good, just a really good time. So big shout out to my friend Kyle, and again, for everyone that's checking out the podcast, thanks again for doing that. We're going to give you the plugs at the end of the show where you can find that podcast as well as the Facebook page and all of the writing and all that good stuff. For those of you that know me and have listened to this particular show before and have read my stuff, you know that I try to be as consistent as possible. I try to write as often as I can. Some weeks are easier than others because, the toils of everyday life at times have been known to sort of interfere. But hey, man, we do the best we can with the time allotted, right? And we try to enjoy each day as it comes. Been an interesting month, past a month or so, and actually just several weeks here going into about the middle part of January here. We have lost some legends. Lemmy has passed away as well as the great David Bowie has passed on. A shame to see those two meet their maker. It's inevitable for everyone, right? I mean, we're all just dodging the bullet as long as we can, but great stuff. And the funny thing is, I just downloaded Motorhead's last album with no idea it was going to be the last. And it's really good, by the way, if you haven't checked it out. I'm kind of a Motorhead fan, and I kind of discovered their stuff round about the same time Hunter started using them for his entrance music. So it just sort of happened to be kind of a coincidence there. But no, I'm a Lemmy guy. I always have been. I love the fact that he lived as long as he did. That he was able to live the life of a rock star, hard-living rock star, and made it as long as he did, which is truly awesome. Considering that Scott Weiland is no longer with us, God rest his soul, great front man for Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver as well. But again, if you're down with Motorhead, Bad Magic was their last studio album to my knowledge. There might be another one like recorded, maybe. I don't have any idea. But that's the latest album on iTunes, and it's really good. Check it out. I also just managed to download Bowie's last album like a day before he passed, and that's Black Star. Dude, I don't know how much of Bowie stuff you're familiar with, but Black Star is unique. It's a lot of it's very somber, very dark. And I talked to a buddy of mine who's been a major Bowie fan for years, man, years. And he's like, dude, it's very dark in tone. It's very somber because, really, you get the feeling that he kind of knew the end was near. So this was sort of a statement of where his head was at or whatever. But we hope that, he was in a good place when he passed. You don't want to think of your heroes and your favorites through the course of your life going out bad, I guess, as it were. But Bowie's going to be missed, man. True creative genius. Bowie, and I've often compared Raven to David Bowie because Raven always had the ability to reinvent himself, which is something that you have to do to stay alive in the business. You have to constantly be willing to accept change, and not to the point where it would hurt you, of course, in your character, but you have to be willing to stay current and be able to stay current. Maybe that wasn't the case in the 80s, or maybe even the 90s, but it is now. You can't get into one character and stay there and refuse to change. Well, unless you're John, and then you can. I guess, right? But where I come down on that idea, on that whole shtick. I mean, I've made my feelings very, very well known on John's situation there in WWE. But speaking of WWE, how about we start the show, huh? As we said, people, this is episode number 42, and the main event this time around is Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Royal Rumble stuff. Sometimes I just like to make like just a catch-all topic so I can just cram a whole lot of stuff in there and a whole lot of little tidbits and snippets of information and rumors and gossip and all that kind of stuff. Maybe rumors and gossip is stretching a bit too far. I don't really go into spoilers and I don't go into hearsay. There was a crazy rumor recently that Daniel Bryan was being released from WWE. That, I believe, has been proven to be false, but supposedly it came from a very reliable source. Very reliable website. I'm like, dude, I am always leery of any column I read that will not cite specific sources. That kind of stuff bothers me. Like, well, we've got to have a deep throat at WWE. Come on, dude. Is that what we're talking about? All the president's men, right? All the chairman's men. Vince McMahon. I don't know, man. It's not my bag. It never has been. I don't like to write spoilers. I don't like to write. I mean, I do a lot of prediction pieces because if you know anything about Bleacher Report, prediction pieces get a lot of hits, and they should. Who wants to read Roman Reigns is a good wrestler or John Cena sucks all the time? I mean, honestly, you can't. That's not working. I mean, BR encourages us as writers to look ahead of the game and to be one step ahead. And it's really a good idea. It's a mentality I take with me in a lot of different aspects of my writing for other sites and for myself as well. To sort of do that, let's look 10 minutes from now, not just today, but tomorrow. So, but at the same time, that to me, that's a lot different than just publishing a lot of crap. Publishing, again, like we said, hearsay. Daniel Bryan is still not back, as we know, and we're going to get into the main topics of the show here, but I touch on Bryan for just a moment, if I may. There's two different viewpoints to this, and I don't know how often you read like the comment sections of the rumor sites and the column sites. I don't know how often you do that. Take a minute when you can and look up any Daniel Bryan story, especially a recent one, and go look at the comments section because I'm reading some comments that are not very favorable. It seems like everyone was in Bryan's corner, and now it looks as though maybe he's beginning to lose some of the crowd, and he's beginning to lose some support. And I'll be honest with you, it's nothing he's done wrong, But I think at this point, people are so sick of hearing about it that they're sitting back like, all right, you know what? I don't even care if it comes back. Can we just move on? I'm sick of hearing about this. Stop talking about it all the time. That's not really good for Bryan because, if you're Daniel Bryan, you want people to want you back. You want to be missed. You want to be loved. And it's not an ego trip. Well, I say it's not an ego trip, but dude, you have to have some kind of an ego if you're going to be successful in this business. I mean, Flair will tell you that. Dusty would have told you that. I mean, the best can tell you have to have some kind of swagger. You have to have some kind of ego, and you can call it self-confidence if you want to. But the fact is, you have to have a certain amount of ego to not only make it, but to maintain, to have longevity, which is what we want Daniel to have in that company. Daniel's had a good career. Daniel's had a great career, actually. We want him to have more. And I'm one of the guys that's been in his corner from day one. And I want to see him succeed. I want to see him come back. There's something about Daniel. Maybe it is the underdog aspect, the Rey Mysterio aspect that he has. I don't have any idea if that's what you call it or if you call it something else. The guy is just super talented. He's so good in the ring. He's smart. He's genuine. He's funny. He's good-natured. Got a good heart from everything that we understand and know about him. So, yeah, I want to see Daniel come back. But, dude, I'm starting to get, again, really concerned that some of the comments are fairly negative coming at him right now, which is not something I expected. When I started reading those columns, I was like, wow, dude, there's a backlash happening here. A lot of that WWE maybe could have covered a little bit better. They sort of react to like hands off to Daniel now. I mean, they don't really talk about him much on TV. They don't reference him very much. Unless you watch Total Divas, you kind of forget the guy's even still existing, which is a shame. Shouldn't be that way, but it is what it is. But let's get to the main topics of the show here. We can talk about Bryan again later if you want. It's not a problem. I just want to get off my chest there. Brock Lesnar recently returned. He made his triumphant comeback, folks. The Beast Incarnate is back. He returned on the January 11th edition of Monday Night Raw. And yes, folks, he's back in the fold. And we knew it was coming. We heard rumors that it was coming really soon. And the date was nailed down online by whoever nailed it down. Deep Throat discovered it and released the information. It's hush-hush, need-to-know basis, folks. Whatever, dude. But, yeah, the Beast Incarnate is back. Brock Lesnar, alive and well. And it occurred to me when he laid out the New Day, on Monday Night Raw, that I can't imagine Brock doing the go-behind for the German. I can't. For me, my heart would be in my throat. I mean, pounding in my chest. Just, oh my God, this is going to hurt. Because, I'm going to tell you something right now. Having been in the business myself and having been a lifelong researcher and writer and analyst and study the game from top to bottom, let me just put it to you this way. There is this perception that every single thing that Brock Lesnar does, it not only hurts but cripples. That he's vicious, that he's dastardly, that he's, an abomination. That every time that he does the hookup, he almost breaks your collarbone. You know what I mean? It's that. I mean, you have that, right? You guys know what I'm talking about. It's just that idea, and it's partly WWE for putting over the notion that Brock is this unstoppable juggernaut, but it's also the fact of what he can do in the ring. And again, just the go behind for the German looks intense. The speed with which he does the go behind, and like I said, he cinches up around your waist, and you just kind of hold your breath and say, "Oh crap, here we go. Please don't drop me on my head, Brock." But there's that impression. That's character. That's presentation. It's kayfabe. Okay? That is what they want you to see, what they want you to believe. How much of that is real? Well, quite a bit, actually. But what I want to talk about is the fact that if you really believe that Brock Lesnar hurts every guy he gets in the ring with, and I'm not talking about, oh, that punch was a little stiff. I'm talking about, dude, I'm seeing stars. My whole body hurts. I can't. I'm having trouble feeling something in my right arm. See what I'm saying? I have a concussion. The next day, I'm slurring my words. I have a headache that won't go away. He took liberties with me in the ring. He took shots, and he called moves that we talked about not doing. He did spots. He dropped me on the floor without telling me he was going to. He took a chair and he didn't pull it. Now, that talent, be he Brock Lesnar or anyone else, will not be on TV for very long. Okay? Because that guy is going to be pulled. And he's going to either be disciplined or he's going to be put back in training at some point or worked with or put back in house shows or whatever and be told, look, you got to calm down. You have to take it easy, because here's the deal. When you have a talent that is like that, I'm not saying Brock is, I'm not suggesting that. But when you have a guy that is that way, that's a little irresponsible, and it just goes into business for himself, the problem is he's going to get the reputation of doing that. No one's going to want to work him. Straight up. It's the old adage of you don't want to work a guy whose boots are very clean because that makes a statement that he doesn't bump very much. And you don't want to work a guy that won't bump very much because you're probably going to be willing to bump for him. You want it to be a fair trade, back and forth. The ebb and flow of a wrestling match. Give as you get, right? But when you have a guy like that that's irresponsible in the ring, does things he shouldn't be doing, goes against the grain, calls it differently than what the agreed upon match was supposed to be, or whatever the case may be, he's not going to get much TV time because that guy's going to be dangerous. No one's going to want to work with him. He's going to be considered, again, a danger in the ring, and he's going to get the reputation. And folks, that's not going to help anything because that guy he just hurt was supposed to work a match tomorrow night. See what I'm saying? And he was too. So now he's off the card because he's screwed up, and the guy he hurt's off the card for the next night too. That's money. When guys are not on the card, when they can't show up for their bookings for whatever reason, that's money out of the promoter's pocket. And that's how they look at it, and that's how they should look at it. Pro wrestlers are commodities. They're not really employees as much as they are products. You know what I mean? Each guy represents his own brand, his own product that's put on TV, and it's WWE's job to sell those products to its audience. All right? And again, if Brock were that guy, that vicious, despicable juggernaut that hurts every single guy he gets in the ring with, come on. All right? So your regular, everyday, casual fans actually believe that. And it's okay. I'm not disputing it's a bad thing. I'm not saying that they should change their outlook or their way of thinking. I just find it funny how sometimes people cannot use common sense. The greater good, as it were, is common sense. And man, it's hard to teach that to somebody. It's impossible actually to teach common sense to anybody. But to expect it from every single pro wrestling fan is asking a lot because pro wrestling fans react emotionally. All right, we're not talking about fans of the AV Club. We're not talking about, Math Nerds Unite here, where we crunch numbers. We're talking about the sport of pro wrestling, and man, that you come at that with passion. You come at that with emotion. You come at that with a true love and desire to see pro wrestling 8 days a week on your TV and go see it live and buy the merch and buy the tickets and discuss it and read and write, actually. So it's a whole different monster. You know what I mean? But for anyone to believe that Brock is that guy, they're missing the point. You're supposed to believe that he's that guy. So if you believe that, then it's working. Again, nothing wrong with that at all. Brock Lesnar's back, and he was none too happy from a storyline perspective that he has to compete in the Royal Rumble. Now, as of this podcast, he is going to be in the Royal Rumble, we suppose. We don't know if that's going to stick. I would not be surprised if Brock ends up not being in the Rumble, that somehow something happens between now and the Rumble to where that will not happen. There's one more Raw before the Rumble goes down for when this podcast is recorded. And we'll see what happens, but leave it to Heyman's character to come up with some sort of way to, wiggle his way out of it. But, I can see where the storyline's coming from because Paul Heyman is the arrogant, cocky, advocate for Brock Lesnar that he always has been, by the way, before they even called it advocate. He was his manager or whatever. Agent, that's right. I love that word, agent. They need to bring that back. Somebody's going to have to bring that back. I love that idea. I'm the agent for Brock Lesnar. That's good stuff. But, even before all that happened, I mean, he was able to use that attitude, that cockiness, that business savvy, and his personality, his disgusting charisma, and his, he's like a snake oil salesman, Paul Heyman is. It's a perfect character. Perfect character. He took the old-fashioned manager that he used to be and completely changed with the time and updated. As we said, talking about Bowie earlier, updated with the times and Raven. But updated to suit the current time, but yet not sell himself short, not change himself completely just to make the check. I mean, he wants to get paid, obviously, but, he's able to combine both old school and new school. It's a great concept, and I love the character. I love me some Paul Heyman. Good stuff, man. If you're not a Paul Heyman fan, you're not a pro wrestling fan. Straight up. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are. Drop it. It's ridiculous. But, again, as of this recording, Brock's in the Rumble, and you can understand why, from a storyline perspective, he'd be upset about that. But, if he is in the Rumble, who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? You got somebody? It's not going to be Big Show. By the way, the best the Big Show has ever looked in his entire career was against Brock Lesnar. Can we agree on that? I'm talking about the last time they worked each other. Not the last time. I'm not talking about that last showdown they had. But I'm talking about before then, the feud that they had, in which, Show threw him around like a rag doll. I mean, that's the match. That's the feud I'm talking about right there. That was good stuff. But, who's going to throw him out? Now, here's the thing. At WrestleMania 32, it's going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a rematch from WrestleMania 31. And Roman needs to win via pinfall. Now, that's a lot to ask for, right? But here's the issue, folks. This is where I'm coming down from. And see if you agree with me or not. Roman got over. And no one wants to talk about that because some people just can't let go of the past. But Roman has not been the same since he won the title. He's got a swagger. He's got a confidence that maybe was always there, but that chunk of gold on his shoulder sort of brings it out, maybe, I suppose, and makes it a little bit more obvious. But he's got something going for him now that he didn't have going before, and the crowd sees it. They pop for Roman now. I didn't say it was Stone Cold Steve Austin pop or the Road Warrior pop. Get a hold of yourselves. I'm just saying, they're popping for him now, okay? He's become very consistent. He's as consistent as Bobby Jagger spinning elbow on the mat on his opponent. Beautiful elbow, by the way. Kansas Jayhawks. I love that team. Dirty Dutch and Bobby Jaggers. It's good stuff. Just give me some old school, baby. You know how I roll, right? But it needs to be Brock versus Roman at WrestleMania 32. It's got to be. I mean, it's just the only thing that makes sense. I don't think it makes sense. Roman needs to beat him via pinfall. Roman is over, as we said just now. Roman is over, people. And it's working in every regard, on every level, it's working, okay? And again, I never said he was Stone Cold. Guess what? He doesn't have to be. They're trying to put him in that character with this thing of him versus Vince and Stephanie, which I find to be a little amateurish, if I could just be honest with you. They've done that stuff so many times. It's kind of crazy. Kind of silly if you ask me. But, I don't know, dude. He needs to stay over. It's a scary proposition to take a Roman Reigns who's over and put Brock Lesnar all back up in his grill again. Okay? That's some dangerous stuff. Because let me just tell you this. When he F5'd Roman at the end of Raw, that was not a slam dunk. If you don't believe me, go back and watch your DVR again. It was not a slam dunk. Brock had done that a year ago. They'd have blew the roof off the place. They did not. They did not. Why? Because Roman's over now. Okay? The vision of what Roman did to Triple H, combined with the vision of... I want you to think about what we're talking about here, folks. Think about this for a second. The vision of what Roman Reigns did at TLC when he took out the COO of WWE, who, by the way, was on Twitter the very next day, like 12 hours after the fact. Because, screw kayfabe, I suppose. That's what that company believes. But Roman laid him out. And in the very next night, he Superman punched Vince McMahon on live TV. Brother, he got over. In a span of 2 nights, Roman Reigns did what WWE's been trying to do for him for a year. He just managed to do it on his own. I mean, he'd do it on his own, obviously. You know what I'm saying, right? But he got over. He got over all the way, man, to the very top, and it worked in every respect. We talked a lot about it in episode number 41 back on December 18th called The Roman Empire Realized. Please feel free to go back and check that one out. Don't do it right now. This was much too important, and I'm in much too good of a mood for you to leave now. We only just started hanging out. You don't leave now. It's only going to get better from here. But no, man, Roman's over, and again, dangerous proposition to put Roman v. Brock again at this level, at this point in Roman's career. Roman Reigns is over. He is to the moon. He is. It's straight up. And that's how it is. Roman Reigns is your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's over because the WWE World Heavyweight Champion should be over. He should be popular. WWE is pushing him and elevating him as the top babyface in the company, and that's what he is. And that's what he should be. Honestly, he should be. Because you can only do that thing where you're like, well, he don't have to be. It's okay. We'll put him in that spot. Someone else can be top babyface. It's all right. And, make excuses for him. Dude, the time for excuses is over. It's not happening anymore. Time for excuses has already come and gone. Straight up. This is a matter of, this is a matter of Roman. Here's the thing for Roman Reigns. Understand this. If you want to be a top guy, you have to be ready with all the responsibilities it takes to become a top guy. And not only become a top guy, but to continue to be a top guy. You have to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to do that. You have to be real willing to carry the load. You wanted it, kid. Carry it. No excuses. Don't talk to me about, well, he was, Brock shouldn't do this and that because it'll hurt me. No, Roman's not saying that stuff. If he is, I've not heard about it. And he shouldn't be. I mean, Roman wanted this opportunity. Obviously, he did, or he wouldn't have took it. WWE wanted him in this role. I told you over a year ago, by the way, that they want him in this role. You did listen, right? Straight up. Because I saw it coming a mile away, dude. Now, a lot of people still have a problem with Roman, but I don't know if a lot of those people are still going to the events anymore. Because you don't hear that audible chorus of boos. They can filter the stuff out on SmackDown. They can cover it up. They can edit. They can't do that live on Raw. They can do it for replays. They can't do it live on Raw. So I've been listening. I listen. When Roman's music hits, I don't listen to the music like the Doobie Brothers suggested. I listen to the crowd because the crowd will tell you all you need to know about whoever's come through the curtain or the crowd. Straight up. And that's how it is. And Roman's over. Now, the fact that Brock did not tear the house down when he F5'd Roman on Raw tells me a couple things. It tells me, one, that Roman is over, of course. But it also tells me that Roman is over to the point where Brock probably can't hurt him. So Brock is going to end up turning heel. I think he needs to. I keep hearing talk about how Roman should turn heel. I think the time for that is past. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it can't happen or maybe it shouldn't happen. I'm just saying it shouldn't happen right now. You know what I mean? I just don't see the point of it happening right now. Maybe back when the frustration was setting in and he was trying to get a leg up and get somewhere in the company, and he couldn't get anywhere in the company because Triple H is constantly trying to hold him down, and he did for a long time and all this, that, and the other. Again, it's the Stone Cold / CM Punk / Daniel Bryan storyline where, corporate goes after this top star as hard as they can with everything they have to keep him off TV, keep him away from the belt. All storyline, of course. That's what they're doing with Roman right now. But, again, he should be that guy. He should He should want the responsibility, and I'm sure he does. He's taking it, right? I mean, he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good. I think he does. I think it's working out just fine. But I don't know that Brock can hurt him now, which is a good thing. You want Brock to be the heel and Roman can be the face. Because, man, here's the problem. We're talking about WrestleMania right now because that's where the match is going to happen. It's not going to happen at the Rumble because the Rumble's for the belt, right? But the match is going to happen at WrestleMania, straight up. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, part 2. Okay? Not going to happen at Fastlane. Obviously, it's going to happen at Mania. And it's a match that Roman needs to win via pinfall. He won't win via submission. That's insane. Kurt Angle's the only guy that can make Brock tap out. Kurt and John, maybe. That's about it. But, no, it needs to happen at Mania. They're perfect opponents for each other. And it's a rehash, or it's a version 2, part 2, sequel to, if you will, to their match from WrestleMania 31. Because that match didn't get a conclusive ending. And that's how they could display this one and push this one and sell it to the crowd. Was that, hey, my client has to know. Roman could say, look, I have to know. Because we didn't get to finish our match. Seth interrupted, right? Remember Seth running down that ramp that seemed like it was 4 miles long to get down to the ring? I'm like, man, good thing he does CrossFit. He'd have been blown up otherwise, you know what I'm saying? He hits the ring and he's like out of breath trying to take a rest hold in the corner so he can get his wind back. But Seth interrupted that match. We couldn't see what would have happened between Brock and Roman. We couldn't have seen what else they could have done against each other and with each other. We didn't see it, so I mean, it never happened. What's that the saying about the referee? If the referee didn't see it, it didn't happen, right? Kind of the same idea. But the old adage with Roman has always been, Roman needs to look strong. It's a statement that was written at some point by a writer somewhere and then regurgitated ad nauseum, and then repeated, regurgitated by fans who just couldn't get enough of the hogwash and had to keep repeating it all over the place because they hate Roman. They despise him, hate his guts. Never understood that. That's whatever. It's whatever, man. Great part about being a wrestling fan, we can agree to disagree, right? Yes, that's kind of how it works. For as much as we have in common, we have twice as much that we just disagree on, hate each other for it. That's all right, dude. It's not no worries with me. Everything's cool on this end, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to be interesting to see how all this unfolds. Very interesting to see how all this unfolds. Because there's time. Time can be the enemy. In pro wrestling, especially WWE, time can be good or it can be very bad. Time is good because it allows you to build a star, i.e. Daniel Bryan. It allows you to get a guy from the ground up, convince fans that he's worth their attention and their time and their investment, especially financial investment. And you work on building that guy up from the bottom up, and you get to the point where, you know, John Cena's in the ring with a bunch of superstars and with Triple H and Stephanie, and they're cheering for Daniel Bryan the whole time. Remember that? And Bryan's standing there smiling and laughing. And they're all just like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Because that's who, you know, they wanted John to work Daniel for SummerSlam that year, and he did. That's what it should have been. Daniel was built from the ground up. So it took time to do that, yes? It took time to build Roman. Time is a good thing in that regard. Very good thing. Worked out. Both cases it worked out, yes? Obviously. But time can also be the enemy. Because things can take too long to happen. Fans lose interest. The fear that I have with Roman is, will he be able to maintain what he has right now? And I'll do you one better. Not just maintain, but make it stronger. You can't stay at the same level you're at all the time, especially not be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. You have to continue to evolve and to grow and to get better. You have to get better. I don't know of any guy in the wrestling business before now or now that I've ever heard on an interview say, I know it all. I got it figured out. I'm good. No, because you're always learning. You only learn from working the best talents in the world. You know what I mean? You work the best talents in the world, Best talents in the industry. And that's how you get better. You learn from people better than you are. Do you know what I mean? That's bottom line, dude. That's how wrestling works. That's how it should be. And time, as we said before, time is the enemy for this because they've got a heck of a long time before April 3rd gets here. April 3rd is WrestleMania 32, 2016. Yes, that's the numbers, folks. Look it up. You got a counter, don't you? Jeez. April 3rd, mark your calendars, mark your phones as we speak. That's the night that Roman Reigns is going to pin Brock Lesnar for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I said it. I don't even care. Come at me. I don't care. I've heard people suggest that Roman should drop the title at the Rumble and then win it back at Mania. Oh, my God. The only way Roman should drop that title is to Dean Ambrose. And they do it as straight up, best friends, brothers turn on each other. It becomes a civil war. Just in time for Captain America, by the way. What a great little tie-in that would be, tie-in promotion. Dean versus Roman in a civil war of WWE. And by the way, Captain America Civil War is in theater, folks. Go check it out. Ant-Man's in it. Spider-Man's in it. Another insect guy's in it. I'm kidding. I love me some Marvel Comics. Looking forward to that movie. Just a ha-ha joke. Everyone take it easy. So yeah, Roman Reigns pinning Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 32. And I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be massive. I think it's going to be massive. It's going to be fun. Dude, here's the thing. Unlike a lot of other people out there, I don't hate Roman. I don't have a lot of love for Roman either. I have to write in reality. I can't write columns based upon, I don't like John Cena, they'll just get rid of him. Can you believe there's people out there, doofuses out there that actually believe that? Let's just get rid of John Cena. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not know John Cena is their top money maker? You want to get rid of him? There's a lot of dumb people smoking a lot of bad grass out there, folks. No kidding. That's true. It's ridiculous, actually. People can't think for themselves. They have to regurgitate everything they hear. Repeat every soundbite they hear. They have to repeat it. It's kind of silly at this point. It's ridiculous. So one of the things that divides us as fans, if I can get off on this subject just for a moment here. Very, very brief moment. It's one of the things that keeps us throwing shots at each other online, in columns, on podcasts, in editorial pieces, and comment sections. We do it all the time. It's a little ridiculous. We just need to get over ourselves. I love the business. It's, helping me make a living. That's number one. Number two, I got a passion for it and always have since I was 4. You guys know my story. It's the first thing that my dad and I really connected over, and it's one of the connections I have still with my late father to this day. And it's always going to be there. I got heart for the business I do, man. I always have. I had heart when I was in it. Got heart before and heart now as well. I love the business. I do. I love watching every minute of it. But at the same time, you have to be practical. You have to write in reality. And the reality of the matter is that they want Roman Reigns in that position. So as a writer, whose job it is to give you the skinny of what's happening right now, it's not my job to sit there and say, well, this is stupid. They shouldn't do that. It's my job to write in reality. So if I'm giving Roman Reigns and I'm told, hey, we want this guy, write about him all the time. Okay, well, it's who you got, so I'll make it work. Same thing with John. You know what I'm saying? John's not going to go anywhere. So what am I going to do? Never write about John Cena again? No. I can write John Cena columns with my eyes closed. And I have. Half asleep and knocked it out of the park. Got, 100,000 reads. And I'll tell you why. Because John's easy to write about. Roman is easy to write about. Daniel Bryan, easy to write about. Stone Cold, easy to write about. CM Punk, so easy to write about. It's like breathing to me, dude. It's like second nature to me. It's like nothing. I'd like to write a column with all those guys in it. You know how fun that would be? Oh my God. I'd get it done like an hour. 45 minutes, fine. I'll hustle through it. But I'd have fun with it and it'd get some good hits because when you feel like you know characters and you understand maybe where they're coming from and a combination of where the company wants them to come from, then you're able to relate to them. You're able to connect to them, and you're able to write a piece about them and have it be legible and have it be relevant and logical and sensible and everything else in between. That's where I'm coming down from, folks. Seriously, it's easy stuff. But yeah, we're going to switch gears a little bit here, if we may. There's other stuff going to go on at the Rumble just besides the Rumble itself. Really quick, who do you think is going to show up in the Rumble this year? The company tries to surprise you every year. I was really, really hoping that we would see Kurt Angle again at some point. I don't think it's going to happen right now. There's possibility it may not happen at all. Sting's still on the shelf. That's a shame. Sting couldn't swoop in as number 29 or 30 as a surprise entrant and clear out about 6 guys or something like you did back in WCW days. None of that's going to happen. But, AJ Styles, the rumors persist. And in fact, to my knowledge, WWE will neither confirm nor deny. Neither confirm nor deny AJ Styles to WWE. Straight up. Nakamura's there. Bullet Club will probably be there. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. Yes. So we'll see what happens. But I would definitely put those guys in the Rumble. I'd have them make a difference as well. What do? Do you reunite Bullet Club? Do you have it happen? I do it at the Rumble. Dude, and if you didn't do it at the Rumble, you better be sure you get them on Raw the next night, man. Because that's where the money is. I mean, the ratings, get the ratings up. You know what I'm saying? Get them on there. The event after the event. That's when the best time is to do surprises. Because people are checking in who maybe didn't see the pay-per-view or they did. And they want to know what the fallout's going to be. Or they just want to get results. Either way. Right? That's how it happens. Totally fine too. But if it were me, I'd put them on Raw. Royal Rumble's a great place for it to get a start. But for it to really grow legs, it should be Monday Night Raw, honestly. But that could happen. Who else could show up in the Rumble? Some old favorites, maybe? I don't know, man. I love the countdown. As a fan, I still love the countdown. 4, 3, and then you get the buzzer, and then bam, here comes the music. That's good stuff, man. That's one of the great things about a match like this is fan interaction. It's you being on the edge of your seat. It's you constantly paying attention. Because, during a regular one-on-one wrestling match, if you're a doofus and you don't care about wrestling, which by the definition of not caring about wrestling, you are in fact a doofus, and you're spending the whole match texting or tweeting, whatever it is you're doing with yourself or to your girl or whatever, and you don't really care, you'll care during the Rumble, right? Because they got the count, you're counting down from 10. It's just, here's the thing. You want to be able to keep your fans' attention, right? You want to be able to keep everyone focused on the ring. The Royal Rumble manages to do that. Because, again, it's a very interactive concept. So you do that by throwing in different talents, by throwing in guys that have been seen for a while or perhaps never been seen before. That keeps people guessing, keeps them rolling along, man. And they, in fact, pay more attention than they did before. I look forward to it, don't you? I count down every time. Hoping against hope the Rock and Roll Express will show up together. Not going to happen. Well, then Nikita Koloff will come out of retirement. Not going to happen either. I'm old school. I told you that, right? You were listening, yes. But the Rumble match itself should be good. I am looking forward to it. But other stuff is happening. Now, there's not a lot booked right now, if I'm being honest with you. The main Rumble match featuring Brock Lesnar is still booked. But at the same time, as of this podcast recording, that's the only thing that's booked. Except for this. Dean Ambrose defends the Intercontinental Championship against Kevin Owens in a last man standing match at WWE Royal Rumble. Isn't it funny how, Matt Hardy and EC3, Ethan Carter III, is going to have the last man standing match for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Soon. Very, very, very soon. It's a coincidence, man. Come on, get off that. I was just playing. Jeez Louise. By the way, if you have not checked out TNA on Pop TV, give it a shot. The production looks good. The lighting is a bit dark for my taste, but you're talking about a guy that watched grew up and loves pro wrestling in the old smoke-filled arenas where they turn the house lights down, just had the lights over the ring. So what do I know, essentially? But anyway, it seemed like for this day and age, the lighting rig could be better, a little bit brighter. But that's me talking. They still are they're all over the place with promos. There are moments when you watch Impact when you're expecting, okay, X, Y, and Z, go, oh, well, no Z. Okay, all right, cool. And I'm not talking about being formulaic, and I'm not talking about being stereotypical and being redundant. I'm talking about certain things need to happen when they need to happen. And TNA misses the boat on that a lot of times. It's kind of weird. But it's kind of a good time to watch because Beer Money's back together. James Storm, Bobby Roode. You can read more about this stuff that I wrote on Bleacher Report, man. I covered TNA's debut on Pop TV and all that good stuff. And hey, we can always talk about it if you'd like to. But anyway, no. That last man standing match versus this one, no affiliation, of course. If you're not in love with Dean Ambrose versus Kevin Owens, you probably should quit listening to this show because you really are delusional. I'm just being straight with you. This is one of the most fun feuds I've seen in a long time. This is Smash Mouth. I want to, bust your head open with a gardening tool kind of a feud. That's what this is. And it gets better and more violent and more vicious and more rougher and more tumbler every week that I see it. It never fails. Every time these two go at it in the ring, it's good stuff. It's fun. It's entertaining, yes. It really is. It's entertaining. It's fun. It's rough. It's smash mouth pro wrestling. This is why Jim Ross started using this term in the business for guys like this. This is it. Smash mouth. It's truth, man. But it's a fun rivalry. Last man standing's good. Ambrose should win this. If I'm being straight with you, Ambrose probably going to win. Ambrose, Intercontinental Champion. Roman Reigns, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Can I ask you guys something? Why are they no longer tagging together all that much? Because you talk, what a sight that would be to see both of them wearing their respective belts standing side by side for a tag match. I know they probably have at some point since Roman won the belt, but if they have, I either don't recall it or it's not been on TV. One of the two, maybe both, who knows? Or either or, yes. But just the fact that the Shield made it is some good stuff. It's really good stuff. Dean Ambrose, big part of that, of course. And again, facing Kevin Owens. Before I tell you my bit on Kevin, let me just say this, if I may. I like Kevin. I like that he has the old school physicality. I like that he has the old school mentality. I like that when you cheer for him, he calls you names. Because he's heel and you shouldn't cheer for him. I like that. I like that a lot. A lot. Here's what I don't like. And you're going to get upset. Kevin Owens still has a gut. He's been in the company for a while now. It's time to start cutting back on the junk food. Now, am I suggesting he needs to lose 50 pounds and slim down to John Cena's solid muscle? Of course not. I didn't say that. You said it maybe. I didn't say it. Had no plans of saying it, okay? What I am saying to you is, though I love the old school body, I love all of that stuff that goes along with it, he is, with all due respect, sort of embarrassingly out of shape for that company. Now, honestly, he's only probably about 10 pounds heavier than he should be. Maybe 15. It's possible. Maybe what the ideal weight for him. Maybe I'm dead wrong, and everyone from Vince to Triple H, everyone looks at him and says, oh, you're good. That's what we want. Who knows? I'm sure Hunter probably said it. It's not Vince's deal, man. Get it? Vince doesn't care for that at all, dude. The land of the giants. WWE's been called land of the giants since the 80s, and with good reason. Because if you're not a giant, you want a job, you may or may not try it with a lot of confidence in yourself. You know what I mean? Land of the giants, man. It's good stuff, right? I think it is. But, not so much anymore. Because you don't really have to do that anymore. Daniel Bryan proved that. CM Punk proved that. Kevin Owens, he's short. I often compare, and I know what you're going to say to me. Well, what's the difference between him and Bam Bam? We're not talking about Bam Bam. But I will tell you this. I think Kevin Owens is as good as Bam Bam was in the ring. And Bam Bam was very good. Don't get me wrong. For a big man, he could work lights out, man. But that's what I see him being, Kevin Owens. And he's just the modern day Bam Bam Bigelow. And I've made that comparison several times in my writing before. If you read anything I've written about Kevin, you can kind of see that from a distance. That's what I do, because it's just how I feel. But anyway, he is, and again, I'm nitpicking on this, on the weight issue. Just imagine how much more intimidating he would look if he lost a little bit of that and did turn into muscle. Now, some guys can't do that. Trust me when I tell you that, man. Some guys can't do that. It's harder. Your metabolism has to be right. You have to have the body that could actually shape. I've seen guys that I've had friends that worked out for years, and they still are not. Their arms look good, but nothing else looks good, because no matter what they do or what body part they work, their body's not shaping up. Doesn't mean they're not in good shape. Doesn't mean they don't look good. Doesn't mean they're not healthy. All the above apply, of course. But again, maybe Owens falls in that category, or maybe Owens just doesn't care to work out. But in WWE, I can't believe no one's gotten this guy's ear yet and said, "Look, dude, it's time. You gotta start losing the weight." I don't know. It's just a minor complaint. I enjoy his work in the ring. That should be all I need. So I should just shut up and drop it, right? Don't be mean. Don't be hating. Hate the player. Don't hate the game. All right? Huh? Wait. Yeah, no, that's right. My homage to Booker T. But no, I'm looking forward to that match. I really am. Ambrose versus Owens should be a good one. Should be a great one, actually. Too bad you can't get color anymore. There's not a lot of matches I even care to see blood in anymore. If I had a choice, it'd be Ambrose versus Owens. Straight up, especially in the last man standing match, because this might be the last thing they do. I mean, I don't know for sure. I don't see Owens winning the belt. Just me talking, but that looks good. But dude, I gotta tell you, man. Again, there's not a lot of Royal Rumble news right now. You know how that company rolls. They tend to put stuff in the week leading up to it, sometimes days leading up to it. Dude, I went into a Saturday before, not knowing what the dark match is for that Sunday night's event, not knowing what the lineup is, how they change the card. Like, they'll go into Saturday with 3 matches booked. And then the Sunday gets here and they have like 6 matches or 7 matches, whatever it is. Because they booked them at the very last minute. I'm like, why don't you just book everything at the same time and get people looking at it and get their interest up? That's just me talking. I don't know, man. It's just how they roll. It's how that company does business. It's just what they do. I'd love to know who came up with that notion of, let's book less than half the card, and going into Saturday, fans don't know why they should even buy it because the card kind of sucks. I don't know on what planet is that a good idea? I can't answer that question, man. I got nothing for you. Straight up. Wish I knew. But no, like right as of right now, that's your 2 biggies. Is the Royal Rumble match. Roman Reigns defending the championship. How you feeling, man? Again, I'm fearful. I'm fearful for Roman's sake because he's too far over to lose momentum now. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be the test for him. This will be the test for Roman Reigns to see if he really has it. See if you've got it to go, as it were. Because if you can't become the top guy when John's not there, you've already been through your trial by fire. You've been laughed at. You've had stuff thrown at you in the ring. You've been mocked. You've been ridiculed. You've been put down. You've been booed. You finally get over and win the belt on live TV. And you're over. And then WWE brings back the biggest monster they've ever seen. Dr. Frankenstein's following along with him. And this guy is Teflon, basically. People love him no matter what he does. Right? Nothing sticks, in other words. And that's who you have to now defend your belt against. Good luck. You're going to need it. I'm interested to see what happens. That's putting it mildly. I'm looking forward to the event. I really am. But it's there's potential there to do other things. New Day has a funky thing going with Chris Jericho. None of us really know why. I don't really have any idea why. But there's that happening. There's other stuff happening that they could form into matches that they get on the card. That kind of thing. Totally fine, man. You know what I mean? The more the merrier. I like an event with a lot of matches anyway. I'm good with that, dude. There's such thing as ever doing it. But for the most part, I'm good with a full card of action. You know what I mean? But, isn't it funny, again, about the Shield and about how the top two tops conversation for this podcast, besides Brock, has been Roman and Dean. It's good stuff, man. But again, some events happening right now in and around WWE. The whole AJ Styles, Bullet Club and all that going down. Will they appear in the Rumble? Will they not? John Cena recently went out again with surgery again. Now Roman's let the fend for everyone. We'll see if he can pull it off or not, man. But it's an interesting time right now. They've got some serious names on the DL, and we're going to see how they're going to handle it. If the company's going to go outside of the locker room to bring back older stars, or they're going to bring up NXT guys or do a combination of both, or either or, whatever the case may be. They got some gaps to fill, man. Maybe you can do it. I'll give them your number. Let me know you're interested. Maybe I'll call you up. Hey, if they need somebody to work on creative, they won't call me. I'd take the job. I might not have it for long because I'd be the first guy raising my hand saying, dude, this sucks. You know what I mean? Let me do it, man. I'll try. Who knows? Who knows? It can't get any worse, right? Says the guy who's never done it before for that company. I've done it for other companies, just ones you've never heard of, and they no longer exist. Ouch. Well, what are you going to do? I had fun. Does that count? Did you have fun? Because it counts to me. Because guess what, folks? We reached the end of the program. Aren't you sad? You should be. I am. I'm tired, but I'm exhausted from all the great wrestling stuff that's going on. Lucha Underground's coming back in February. TNA Impact's on Pop TV. WWE's rolling right along. Ring of Honor's on Destination America. It's a good time to be a fan, man. Global Force Wrestling, Jeff Jarrett's new company, trying to get off the ground. See what happens. But again, good time to be a fan. You got to be having fun with it. As I hoped you had fun today. I want to take a few minutes and plug the stuff. Don't hit stop, please. You know that if you hit stop, you're going to break my heart. Don't make me sad. But here's where you can find me, okay? Go to bleachreport.com. There's a search box. Type my name, Tom Clark, and I'll pop up. And you can click on my stuff. Give me some feedback, man. Please give me some hits. That'd be great of you to do that. It'd be truly awesome. You can go to the highly esteemed Camel Clutch blog, run by one Eric Gargiulo. You can also do the search box there and type in my name, Tom Clark, and bam, there I am. You're welcome. You can find me on my own pro wrestling blog, tomclarkbr.wix.com/blog. It's exclusively pro wrestling content done by yours truly. Please go check that out. Okay. I do have a Facebook page. It's fairly boring. Don't bother. So, just throwing it out there to you, man, but whatever. Now let's talk about Boeing Studios. Boeing Studios is the parent company owned by myself and Kyle Smith. It's our production company from which both podcasts originate from. His artwork and my writing originate from. Sponsored and owned by Boeing Studios. Everything we do as a writer and artist and as a podcast team. But here's the skinny on that, okay? Our sister show, as we said before, in addition to Tom Clark's Main Event, is Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour. It is available on iTunes. It's also available on Google Play, and we're working on getting it available in other places. Got to get several episodes in deep before it opens up to other platforms, just so you know. That's kind of how the game's played. So, Tom Clark's Main Event's available everywhere if you haven't figured it out by now. If you haven't, and if you don't know, now you know. There you go. You're welcome. But Tom and Kyle's Comedy Action Hour, just go into iTunes, look it up. You'll find it. Please subscribe. Download today. I think you'll be... I think you'll have fun. I think you'll be happy. I really do. And I think that you'll get a blast of it. We have a blast recording it. Hopefully you'll have a blast listening to it as well. It's good stuff. It's fun stuff. I love doing it. It's just, I've used the word fun a bunch, haven't I? I like fun, don't you? But it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. And hopefully you will as well. Please give us feedback on that. You can also find the Boeing Studios content on Facebook. Again, just go to Facebook, look up Boeing Studios, hit the like button a whole lot, and if you hit it enough times, you get a cookie. It'll be delicious, trust me. We also have a website online that is exclusive Boink Studios content. It has links to the main event page, to the main event podcast. It also has links to the Action Hour shows, and it has original material. Everything on the Bleacher Report page, the TomClarkBR.com page, and of course the Boink Studios Facebook and the Boink Studios website are all original material, original artwork, and original music on the podcasts as well. We do everything in-house, folks. We don't get help from anyone else. That's kind of how we roll here. So everything else is for other people to worry about. That's not what we do. This is what we do here. This is who we are, okay? But go check out our website, tomclarkbr.wix.com/boink. Okay? Go look that puppy up and check out the stuff. You can go on that website and you can read columns about the new Deadpool flick. Topics as varied as Deadpool, the Mythbusters leaving TV in their original run, down to Star Wars creator George Lucas being interviewed, down to Roman Reigns versus John Cena, down to the main event post. And the website, we started that sucker back in November 2015. Got quite a bit of content posted so far. In fact, we've got 24 pieces up right now, so not bad for guys that, are constantly have their hands in as much multimedia as possible. But all the columns on Boink Studios are original. They're written by myself. So here's my ask. Go check out all this content, man, and let's have some feedback. Let me know what you think, okay? Come on back and we'll spitball some ideas if you'd like to. That'd be just fine with me. It'd be fun, trust me. You can do that a couple of ways. You can find us on Twitter at Boink Studios. You can look us up individually also at TomClarkBR on Twitter and also at Kyle DJ Smith. Give us an email, boinkstudios@yahoo.com. Wasn't that all that easy? So easy, man. Thank you for those of you who have sent emails and who have sent tweets and direct messages and this, that, and the other and the like, encouraging us to keep going and telling us that you like what we do. It means a lot. We really do appreciate it. Here at Boink Studios, we attempt to please. And of course, my job on this show is to educate, entertain, inform, and enlighten. That's who I am. That's what I do. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It flew by. I hope it was good for you because it was good for me. So we want you to come back again for the next episode. It'll be along shortly. We've got another episode of the Comedy Action Hour coming out not long after this particular episode of the main event is released. So please, again, subscribe to both shows. Keep us downloaded. We'll try to keep you up to date as much as possible. And again, please give us the feedback anytime you can. That's it, folks. That's what we got for you. Thanks again for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for giving us a chance to entertain you and to do what we do. And we will see you next time on Tom Clark's Main Event.